And as he pointed out at the beginning of his speech, we're all proud as Americans of what our military just accomplished. If you want to look at what Osama bin Laden used as his weapon of war, it's called the Improvised Explosive Device, IED. And if you ask any of the commanders in the field during the war to replace Saddam Hussein in Iraq, where did these IEDs come from? They'll be the first to tell you they came from Iran. Here's the irony. I personally believe the reason MEK is still listed as a terrorist organization is that our policy in the past has been one of appeasement. Please, we know you're our enemy. We know you're contrary to everything we stand for. But if you'll just make a few less IEDs, kill a few less American soldiers, we'll list your main opponent, the MEK, as a terrorist organization. In other words, in order to save our soldiers' lives, you can understand this, we'll do whatever it takes, even if it's doing a deal with the devil. But here's the problem with that. They're not stopping. They're not honoring their agreement. And they're still out there manufacturing IEDs right as we speak to ship and export throughout the Middle East to kill Americans. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. MEK is the biggest threat to the Iranian mullahs. If the Iranian mullahs are manufacturing at their orders and through their exporting systematic destabilization, systematic support for sponsor of terrorism, systematic fundamentalism, and the weapons of that war, they're exporting IEDs, it seems to me we want to be on the side of the people who want to stop them. You know, when I came here to the Congress, I heard it often said during the days of the fight for us to change apartheid in South Africa, because during that fight, I'm proud to say that my father, who served in the Senate, who led the charge in Washington to change apartheid, his ally in South Africa was a fellow that at the time was on the terrorist list. We should recall that if we want to understand where we are today with the MEK. Because back in the day, Nelson Mandela was considered a terrorist. How the world changes. And thank God America was on the right side of change when we supported Nelson Mandela, the father of a new South Africa. So my point is, not only should we do this because of national security, and we care about our soldiers, and we want to go after the enemy, just like we did Osama bin Laden, because we now want to go after his instruments of terror, these IEDs which are manufactured and exported by Iran. But we also want to support something different. Because, you hear a lot about the Arab Spring, and people say, Well, if we oppose the current dictatorships, who's going to take their place? Is it going to be a fundamentalist regime? You know, because we've got these